Teves is back. I'm happy to have another shooter in the studio and we can just geek out. You're going to love this episode if you yourself are a shooter, especially if you're part of Sony gang. You love that mirrorless full frame life. Last time we didn't get to geek out as much. I said, hey, bring your setup. I want to talk about it this time. So Teves brings in his own A7 IV setup. He breaks down how he uses it and, it speaks for itself. In this episode, we did get a little bit more into the weeds of technical stuff. Now you're talking about ways to shoot, ideation, business strategies, things like that. You might get a little more value from this episode. We talk a little bit about his inspiration. This is something I always like to do with creatives here. Is I like to ask about their inspiration, who they get inspired from. And Teves shares who he gets a lot of his inspiration from, who now I follow and find a lot of inspiration in as well. You can find Teves' information in the link in the description. Check out what they're doing. Reach out if that's something you need, especially if your product is a beverage and you're looking to get quality content. I hope this channel serves as inspiration for you on your creative journey, and I hope this releases the pressure of making everything perfect. This is 100 Bad Videos, the anti-perfection channel that you tune into because you're on your journey as well. Welcome. This is Teves. I think was it the bartender? Like in person, the bartenders there, usually if it's not too busy or whatever, to converse with and learn, have that education angle, right? But then a lot of times it's like, just make it look good and it might sell itself. Or a lot of times it's like, it doesn't even, some auntie with her iPhone 3 took a picture. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's the number one item on the menu.
3S, bro.
The 3, you know what I mean?
3S. You get the 3S.
We see it all, especially here in Hawaii, where it's such like a foodie place.
Yeah.
I think the foodie...
Heavy foodie culture. Heavy, yeah.
Bruh. I mean, you're what, foodie adjacent? No, you're
I just feel like
foodie.
It's in there. It's in there, like it runs hand in hand with it, in my opinion.
If you like foodie stuff, you can like what you make.
Yeah.
Basically.
And even if you don't like drinking alcohol, then we still do mocktail stuff too, like. You're
right. See, that's why I'm biased, but I like your BTS in the field stuff, but then also when I hear dialogue with it. So seeing it is cool, but then like hearing when you guys are making drinks, for example.
Yeah.
To me, that's a little bit more my lane because I want something from what I'm watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm selfish with it.
It's good. I'm glad you said that.
For me. Good. So I like to hear, and as you know, you can create both. You can create some that are just the image and look nice, but you can also have ones that have talking. And I think at large, a lot more avenues, or more people are seeking that kind of educational content
like
too.
Like the guidance.
Yeah. Because I want to do it too.
Through sort of, yeah, exactly.
Basically, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you do it? I want to do it. Okay, let me just save this. Let me share it to my friend who, I'm going over to their house tonight. You know what I mean? Hey, let's try to make this and then send it over. If we were to prioritize things, it's tell me how to do it first. And then if it looks great, that's even better.
Yeah.
You know
that's like the sprinkles on the icing, right?
But then, that's like Netflix. You got your documentary mode, but then you just got your anime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me watch a 25-minute episode. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? We all...
I heavily relate to that.
Hey.
Depends on what amount of brain calories you want to invest into it in a way, right?
Yeah. I mean, I always try, I had friend Krista on yesterday. She's a creative person too. And so I was like, I'm trying to get a creative profile of you. So I was asking what movies do you like, or what are you listening to? Because your watch list could tell me something about you.
For sure,
right?
For sure. Especially if there depends on what type of creator there are too.
How do you for something that's, I would say, niche, because you're the only cocktail videographer I know,
hardcore committed to it, yeah.
Right? Who else? So for Teves, what do you look at to pull from, if any?
Oh man, I'd say it's kind of an easy one for me, because the people or team that I saw their work in the beginning and was incredibly inspired by it is it's an Instagram account known as Equal Parts Cocktail, and I stumbled upon one of their videos in, I want to say, July of 2017, and at the time,
that's pinpoint, dog. July 2017.
Yeah, I think it's July 2017, if I can recall correctly, because I still watch the video to this day.
Okay.
But it was just the style of everything just spoke to me as a creator.
What's it called? Sorry, I just like check them out too.
Yeah, Instagram. It'll be equal.
Like EQ. Okay. Equal.
Underscore parts. Underscore cocktail. They're probably popping up already.
Yeah.
They're not as active lately.
Okay.
But this is part of this is kind of like almost beginning parts of the story, because I came across this video of theirs and I watched it. The music, it was just like hip hop, like boom bap, like slap type music. And I was like, all right, like you already got my attention.
Yeah.
And it was the showmanship of the way they bartended. The cuts and the edits were unlike anything I ever seen before. And I'm very confident in saying that they standardized. Everyone saw that and followed it. Everybody wanted to do a version of that at that time. And I meant to ask Milo, one of the brothers. It's funny because they're equal parts cocktail, which...
Oh, these two guys are brothers?
Yeah, they're twins.
Oh.
So they're literally equal parts brothers. So like
Got it.
Yeah, they nailed
Got
it, right?
it. Yeah.
But at the time, I had a Sony A6300 that my baby mama at the time bought. And I mean, we took some photos with it and whatnot, but I had no idea how to do video at all, like other than with my phone, right? And I remember I saw their video and I messaged them. I was like, hey, like, I'm just curious, what kind of like camera you guys use? And they answered me like immediately, and they're like, oh, we shoot with a Sony A6500. So I was like, oh, that's kind of like the camera I have.
Just a little,
so I looked into it a little bit more, and I was like, bro, I could do that with this thing I already have. So that's kind of where I started to realize, like, let me try and play around with this. And at the time, I was deep into the bar industry out here. Even before I saw their stuff, I had this, like, I wanted to find a way to, like, promote what we were doing, actually what my friends were doing at their bars and with their cocktails. And I started with some photos, and then when I saw their equal parts work, I saw what camera they're using, and I realized, like, that's basically the same camera I have, except mine doesn't have in-body stabilization, but everything else is almost the same. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, let's dabble with this. So going back to meeting Tyler started his ice business, and him and I became really good friends over say like the midterm after that. But some of the first stuff I shot that actually looked pretty good was like ad stuff that him and I would do in his ice shop.
So that was, wow, like you're shooting ice in his ice shop.
Yeah, like he's cutting the ice, and like we did a couple where like we're just pouring whiskey over a clear ice cube and stuff. Like I had the A6300, and the funny thing is I rented the 2470 GM from ProCam back, from ProCam Hawaii. Yeah, I rented it back then, and the thing, like, we'll probably get into it in a little bit, but I shoot with the Mark II now. But that Mark I was freaking huge, dude. On the A6300 body, too,
I was about to say
ridiculous.
That would look like.
And I had no idea what I was doing.
Putting this cup on my phone right there, kind of like.
Literally that, actually. That's
it's like this, bro.
That's
I know.
Very, very good representation
the
of it.
A63, 65, 66.
Pretty much all same archetype, right?
Bro, but it's a great, like, it was introduced to me as like a backup camera, a backup body to keep in your bag type of thing. Yeah. I was like, why is it so popular? And then I looked into it, and it's a hitter.
Crazy powerful.
Oh,
I mean,
workhorse.
Back then, like APS-C didn't mean anything to me. I was just like, oh, that's fine. Like,
video's a video, huh?
Yeah, I was like, that's fine with me. But that was kind of the beginning phases of it and where it started. And honestly, even through the years, like when I was at Kohana doing cocktail videos, like I became pretty close with the Equal Parts guys. And
are they in Hawaii then?
They're in SF. They're in San Francisco.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, honestly, I would say they're probably, when it comes to me owning cocktail video specialists, like if it wasn't for them in many different facets, like I would not have the skill set I have now at this time.
That to me is like hearing, I don't know, like a rapper say, oh, Andre 3000. I saw him in, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah, for real.
I think it's good to have that inciting moment where it's like, that's what I want to do.
And it's very defining too.
And knowing like, wait, I have the same tool almost.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
close enough.
Oh, man. So that is how you started Equal Parts, which I just took a brief scroll. I'm like, okay, I can see how you...
Fire. fire.
It's clean, almost, yeah, dare I say minimalist. It almost feels like recently I've been looking at architecture.
Okay.
I try and look at architecture the way I look at other things.
Got it.
Music, videos,
Like,
movies.
in what way?
Just in that someone went through a creative process to make this.
Okay.
A lot of times it's like buildings that make so what?
Yeah.
It's more like business materials, kind of cost
Yeah.
evaluation decisions. But when you look at custom built buildings, homes, even hotels, like different scales, I start to appreciate the artistry behind it a little bit more.
Yep.
So it's just like a recent thing I've been like thinking about. So having that almost like a model, like we all have that one movie or one book or whatever. And now I think you not only are doing it, like one day someone will look at your stuff and feel the same way, hopefully, right?
That's
right.
what
That's
I
the
hope
goal.
for. And I hope to have resources available to them to, if they like what I do, they can learn how I do it.
Bro, you can text,
from me.
you can respond to their message real quick. Like
Easy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think now that there's these kinds of media, right? And people like us there's more people making more media and it's more shared with more people every day, right?
Yeah.
That environment, it makes it easier to connect with that kind of person and have that kind of inciting moment. Because nowadays it's like, bruh, now I got what's equal parts. They're on my map now.
Yeah.
But it's connected, you had a different thing. And bruh, that's what I like about making stuff in general. And putting it out there.
Putting it out there. That's the one.
And
making it and never sharing it doesn't do too much for the world.
We're guilty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I know some people are really guilty that I've been asking for years. Like, bro, just put them out. Put them out. Like, just don't expect anything. Just put it out there.
I bet people like your friends or whatever ask you, hey, what?
He's probably gonna watch this and he's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna say his name. He's gonna know.
Right? And I was like, oh, he's talking freaking Teves.
Know. I know it. Yeah.
Well,
but it's not for everybody, So some people just have to create. It's part of who they are. Doesn't really matter if the world sees it sometimes, and that you got to respect that sometimes.
I don't think it's a matter of. It's not even teaching. Teaching is the wrong word to use, but like just being an example for the other person who's waiting for that kind of moment.
Yeah.
Just to be an example that's available for someone else to pick up momentum off of. Like that, it takes a little bit of that pressure off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of like creating. So speaking of that, today I was like, because I wanted to do it last time, but we just didn't have time.
Yeah.
I was like, bring your setup because let's talk about it. This is a tool that you use to create all your stuff.
Yeah, let me grab them.
Bingo. Shout out to your shirt, by the way. What brand is that?
Aloha Modern.
There we go. That's fire.
Yeah, I love their stuff. Ooh, sorry.
Oh, it's $500.
Sorry.
Here we go. Bingo.
I mean, yeah, I would say this is kind of like, I don't know, my run and gun rig, if you would. This tripod that it's on, handheld, is just meant really to just collapse quickly and, go from filming myself. The cool thing is I could sit it on a park bench, put it on a table. So it's really versatile in that regard. I have so my camera's a Sony A7 IV.
Mm-hmm.
I think amazing hybrid camera, really. And that's why I use it so much.
That's why it's so popular. I mean, it's the same thing as these cameras.
Basically, kind of.
Yeah.
I think there's, advantages and disadvantages to both. But as somebody who does like to take photos, actually, last time we talked about it a bit, and I was reluctant to say I do photos, but I just did a bunch of photos last night with Tyler, actually. So I was in the middle of the shoot. I was like, I'm so glad I have this camera because I can get that. And then also the video aspect, the 4K sensor is downsampled from a 7K image. So that thing is like crispy sharp.
I mean, beautiful. I see the sharpness. And at first I didn't believe, or maybe I just didn't understand. I probably just didn't understand the compression that Instagram did.
Yeah.
Because I would see videos and I'd be like, what the fuck?
It's all banged up looking.
Yeah, what do you mean shot with it? Don't #red or whatever. I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because maybe I just in a place with slow internet there's so many factors,
Yeah,
right?
that happens a lot.
That you make something that whatever 4K, 1080, 7K, 8K, whatever, and then whoever's watching it could just have bad Wi-Fi or whatever, and they're not
like
experiencing
540,
it.
360p, like
Yeah. Especially YouTube.
where the other 90% of this go? Yeah.
But when you, like when I finish it on my computer and I airdrop it to my phone, I know there's compression. It used to have a lot of compression, but now it's pretty good. And I can see the 1080 version and the 4K version difference
Yeah.
on here. Just like I've had musician friends or just audio friends be like, yo, no, MP3 versus Wave, homie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
I get it. There's more information, like
More
log.
data.
Like,
More
you know what I'm
data.
saying? I
Yeah.
want to talk about shooting log 2, color grading. But first, the tools.
Yeah.
I see it. It looks to me like a perfect, dare I say, perfect vlogger setup, because it's mobile, like portable. This could fit in a small bag that is not even a camera bag, so you're not advertising it.
Yeah.
Once you bring it out, you're advertising that you're vlogging.
Yeah,
But-
I get a lot of looks when I pop this thing out at the park. or in
especially
public.
with that mic.
Yeah, just, there's more compact versions.
But
But
I do like the side-ish mount right there,
yeah,
the
for
hot
the
shoe.
cage. The cage is clutch. Ever since
There's a hot shoe mount on this too?
Yep. So like Rode Wireless Go 2, you can kind of pop that on there. I've actually never done it, but you could.
Yeah, right.
It's there to be used. But yeah, I can't rock without a cage at this stage in my
This is a full cage too, right?
full cage. Yeah, for this one. This is the small
Yeah.
rig cage for the A7S3 that also fits the A7 IV body, and then I got these plates on it.
Yeah, these ones right here.
These little NATO rail plates or whatever. So this is how I can attach my handles real quick, so I can get it my handheld rig.
Do you? So when you're shooting your cocktails, are you using a combination of like 2 cameras, one with the 2470 and maybe one that's like more macro or long? Like how do you?
So so this is my A cam.
Okay.
Right. My B cam is a Sony FX30.
Okay.
And that's an APS-C sensor, and it shoots 4K 120, which is what I pretty much use it for in the cocktail videos. But the problem with the sensor on it is that it crops additionally on top of the 1.5 APS-C crop. Once you punch it into 4K 120, it crops about another 1.5.
So it's not even APS-C then.
No, it's like APS-C.
It's Micro Four Thirds.
Yeah, it's wild, right? So I use
Okay.
a 35 millimeter on that, which basically becomes an 85.
I see.
So that just stays stagnant, straight on. to
That's
the
on a stick
bartender.
stand, or
It's on a tripod, on
Yeah,
a video
yeah.
tripod. So
Okay.
I just leave it there. We've been experimenting with different ways to do the way we film, because right now we try to do each cocktail, film it twice. So the first one is handheld.
Okay.
This is handheld.
Yeah.
And the FX30 is just straight onto the bar.
yeah.
And then the second round, I'll actually pop this real quick onto the gimbal.
Okay.
It's all set up, ready to go.
Yeah.
Just pop it on the gimbal, and I'll do a second round just getting some steady shots. And with that, lately, when we're in bar shooting, when we shoot our own content, we got our own weird system. But in another bar, we'll basically painter's tape the tripod position, and then we'll move it to a second spot. So the second round basically is another angle, stagnant, and gimbal, if that makes sense. So then we basically got 4 different angles to play around with. And then that's, not even accounting for the fact that when I'm handheld or with the gimbal, like I'm moving like all over the place. So that's why we're able to shoot cocktail twice and have so much footage that you'd never know how many times I even shot the thing.
Because it all comes together seamlessly. You've got 4 angles of what the end user will see as just one take
Yep.
of making one drink, right?
Just one A to B process, basically.
So that's the thing too with multicam shooting, but also with food, drink. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you consistency warriors out there, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Pixel
You know
peeping.
who you are.
You know, come on,
know.
you paused it. You paused it and screen grabbed it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so what? The ice cube is different. You know what I mean? Like, so what? This part of the table's wet in this shot, and then fuck it.
I've been that person before, so.
But hey,
But I've been that person
Yeah.
from a lens of trying to figure out
How
how
to
they
do
put
it.
it together.
How did they do it? Yeah.
How they put the video together.
that's the breadcrumbs picking them up.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you're interested. You
I'm
want to do
curious to know that, right? Like, do I need to shoot this thing 6 times? Like, because how does equal parts make it look like how many times are they shooting that? You know,
And that speaks to the importance of the communication on both sides of the lens, because
yep,
even I'm assuming it's Tyler, right? Even Tyler gotta know, okay, I'm making
same process,
the same
much as
drink,
possible.
and I'm trying to give Teves enough leeway in the editing bay
Yeah.
that he could use take 4 as a first shot.
And that comes down to the way they're holding the jigger, because sometimes they'll hold it like cradled in their fingers like this, the pour, and then sometimes in the second take, and I won't notice it because I got 100 things going on in my head, and I won't notice it till I get in the edit that they're holding it like this.
Yeah.
So now I gotta now you just gotta get creative in post. You know, it's not troubling, but
Skip to the
it makes
close-up.
it easier to know. Yeah, exactly. Finish drink done.
Put a buffer shot, like just throw in a drone shot. Like,
You didn't put anything in a tin, like you just shaking a drink and it's done already.
well, there's a linear nature of a lot of the foodie content I see.
Yes, 100%.
And so I think that speaks to the audience and the expectation of, I want to do it. Therefore, it's easier to consume when it's like A to B, or sorry, A to B, A to Z.
Yeah.
Like this is almost like reading an ingredient
Yeah, it's
recipe.
kind of like checking
like a
the
recipe.
list off, right? You move
First,
down the list.
and then finish with kind of beginning, middle, end. It's easy to follow. It's a nice structure. But like, do you ever dip out of that? And for what reasons?
Sometimes I do. There's a couple cocktails I edited recently where like I didn't even show all the ingredients that went into it. Like I just took the banger clips from that and the stuff that made the most sense and wouldn't deter the engagement from the audience. Like one of them was Tyler's putting this blue spirulina powder into the tin, and it just looked so clunky. The shot just didn't look good, and we tried it a bunch of different ways, like sprinkling it, just none of them looked good. So in the video, in the edit, I actually just cut that part out, and that was one. Those are certain occasions where I'll like omit parts of the steps, and then other times I'll deviate is adding additional layers to like the intro or outro of the video to show off like establishing shots, or there's a really cool one we did with EP Bar where I did like this gimbal push.
I know that.
It was a really cool
that was
idea
fire.
that I had to like showcase the space. So that's not necessarily indicative of the cocktail, but it showed like if you were a guest walking into this place, like
it's a wide shot. It's an establishing shot, like you said.
The vibe a little bit,
I love the oneers in a lot of the Scorsese films where like, and I saw one interview where he said why he does it. It's like the oneer shot that is sort of it's a non-verbal way of adding information about your character, your main character. So it's like, I forgot which movie it is. Y'all gonna hate me, but he's bringing in his date to this restaurant, like Italian mob type movie, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't go in the front door. He goes in the back door.
Yeah.
And it shows you all kinds of relationships and how people. So like most of the frame is other people and their eyes and the sounds and like tables and roles and people, right? And so what we're learning is actually his status amongst a larger group of people, and he's also like bringing a date to experience that. That's giving him. Someone brings out a table for him right at the end of this long oneer. You know what I mean? So it's like,
what is that? I feel like I'm seeing it in my head.
Yeah,
is that Goodfellas with Ray Liotta?
Yeah, it's Ray Liotta. It's Ray Liotta.
Is that the one with?
But yeah, y'all gonna fact check this. It's
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
It's all right.
yeah.
You know,
Help us out. Help us out.
I say that because when I remember seeing that one that you're talking about, where I was like, oh, we're starting new information, new setting, right? Everything that's happening right here is dope. Everything that's happening right here is dope.
That's crazy.
But then now we're getting all of it, and it's just a natural like leaning in kind of shot.
Yeah.
You know when you're like leaning in, you're drawing your audience in with literally moving the camera closer to your subject. So that whole the camera movement, but also just the visual information that at the start and end of this clip, the start of the clip, you could say like percentage of main subject is like 5%, 95% is environment. Yeah. At the end of the clip, maybe it's opposite. 95% is your subject, 5% is environment. But giving us that whole journey through that, that's a powerful oneer. That's what I think draws people in.
Yeah. And
you can do it at any scale. So if you're doing something about ice, the wide shot could be the top of the cooler and you go in closer type of thing. So just when I say that because when I'm editing, which I do too much of, but like I got so ruthless with it like ruthless in terms of I just stick to something and like I try not to overthink.
Mm-hmm.
And one way that makes me kind of breeze through edits a lot is when I just think about scale. So when you're saying like I'm gonna skip the sprinkle shot, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, I make decisions like that where I'm like, okay, fuck this shot. You know,
Yeah.
it's not working. What am I doing next? That decision there. Sometimes I'm like, instead of spending a lot of time on this, let me just think about like scale, for example. Where am I in most basic terms, wide, medium, close? Where am I?
Mm-hmm.
If I am trying to find the next clip after a close, I can just skip to a wide.
Yeah.
It might not have to be the continuity of like, I'm opening the pack and then I'm pouring the pack.
Yeah. Sometimes
you know what I mean?
I think that's a common mistake made especially in the beginning for a lot of people, is like you feel like you need to do A, B, C, D. You got to show all of it.
And even if you do show A, B, C, D, it could be tight A, wide B,
Yep.
medium C, tight A, or D. Like just going between those compositions is enough to keep the story going, keep it moving,
Yep.
keep it moving.
Yep. Keep the flow
Just keep it
moving and keeping your audience engaged to what's going on.
You know what? I'm thinking about like how to explain that because my daughter's more interested now in editing.
Really?
She'd be like, "What are you doing?" And then I'll be like, "Okay, give her a simple task.
Yeah.
Press this button when I say like
Cut there.
So I'm thinking about like how to get all this stuff in my head out, which is like that's one way I thought of just scale. I'm changing close, tight, medium, wide, tight, medium, wide. I can move those things around or having like, I don't want to say like guardrails almost, like these rules when I sit down to
like
edit.
Certain constraints.
Give myself. It could be a lot of times it's a timer.
Yeah.
I'll just do 45 minutes.
Dude, I just did that today
You
when I
did?
was editing. Yeah.
You did that? See?
Yeah. Well, it's 37 because but yes, I did the same exact thing.
Just give myself all these guardrails and then go.
Yeah.
And just trust that it's going.
Like 45 on, 15 off, or 5 off, or something, right? Just to keep things harnessed a bit.
And I think that structure to be free, that balance there.
Yeah, it's funny
And
you
then
say that.
you just fucking, and then I find I'm like fucking, I'm breezing through these cuts.
Yeah, it's funny because I've been working on this like editing workflow series for a while, and I was having a hard time getting the first part done, which is all about file management. And I'm not going deep into the rabbit hole of it, but like if we're gonna talk edit, like we gotta start with how you organize your shit, basically, right? But the thing was, like, I guess I was trying to ramble it unscripted, thinking that like I would be able to do it. I think I tried to shoot it like 10 times, and just like every time I was just like blah 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 blah.
You know, it's the ugly necessity of all of this. People want to make videos and blah blah, but they feel it when they choose between a 256 gig or you know what I mean on these kind of things. But bruh, if you really want that smoke and you want to start a channel or something, it's like buying a camera. You also have to think about the lens, the battery, the mic, the stand. Like there's all these other things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make a video, one thing that is just always overlooked is data management, data storage.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you're like, 2-3 months into doing this thing,
disaster.
All your stuff starts spilling out. You can't find this file. You can't find that file. I say this as someone who has lost files, and we know there's spillage. I believe we call it spillage. Yeah, right.
Machine to admit it, yes.
How many gigs went down the drain?
Been other people's files that I've lost. So.
Me too.
Sorry for that. Sorry.
Me too. It's gone.
Well, if I lose my own, I'm like most of the time, like whatever. Like that's my own fault.
I know it was somebody else.
Nobody else. It was somebody else. You like gotta go talk to him. You're like, I don't know what happened.
Hey,
but
here's some beef chili.
You sure you sent that to me? You sure it was on that drive you had me
didn't you drop the memory card when you handed it to me?
Was it in water before? Because I don't know what happened, but
I couldn't
everything
read it.
you're supposed to give me, I don't have. Nah, not that bad, but I mean, to the point of organization, I think is a barrier that a lot of us creatives think prohibits us from being creative. But actually, what I've learned, committing to being a filmmaker and doing video, like, as a profession, is that actually the more organized I am, the more freedom I have with my creativity. And I think that's something that gets really mixed up because
fucking said
it's hard to like accept that in the beginning. Because in the beginning, you're like, you know, you've probably been creative as a hobby most of your life, you know? So you're like, you just go with the flow.
There's no discipline.
Yeah, you're like, that's always worked for me. But then you start taking on clients, you start doing professional work, like you need more organization and more structure, you know? And you have flexibility. You can be adaptive within your structure, but the only way you're going to generate consistent results and I think be actively progressing is really paying attention to how organized you are with everything.
So how you okay? We don't have to go in the weeds, but a lot of people who are still with us is like people like us. So I can ask this question. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
everyone who's not like us, they skip
long gone.
We said we were gonna geek out.
They're watching that Scorsese movie right now. Like this fuck goes wrong.
It wasn't Ray Liotta. It was Pacino. What is he talking about?
One of them.
Excuse me.
What I do year, month, day. So year, month, day. So year _ 2-digit, month _ 2-digit, day _ client _ project _ and then part.
As your root folder.
No, the root folder would be, so like on my desktop then?
Yeah. Or your NAS or...
all of the above. It's basically,
wherever it is, basically,
right? Project or client.
Yeah, that's my root folder.
Root. And then like, within that, it's the same for everyone though.
Yeah.
So you have the dates the way, or the folders the way I just said. But then you also have a folder for just for me, Final Cut Pro libraries that are active. And when I'm done with those projects, I put them in another folder, Final Cut Pro. I say Vault because I compress those library files. I put them in a Vault.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So like the project file, is that the project file for Final Cut?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
It's
so
all
you compress those and then backlog those. Ooh, that's smart.
So compressing those after I'm done with it, or sometimes if you gotta bring it out, you gotta bring it out. But like for my NAS, for whatever reason, the system I'm using and stuff, it's easier to upload those zip files than it is the actual FXP, ML, whatever files. So that's one reason. And then the other reason is Final Cut Pro, man. Y'all got to figure this out. Making shots fired. Here we go. No, look. I've been riding with them more than 10 years. So
yeah.
But the amount of unnecessary files that they make when you import, I know even if you say leave files in place when you import, there's still, when you go, show package contents, you go in, like I should like just put B-roll of this process because
you
know what I mean? Like I might have to.
Yeah.
But you go to a library, you can double click on it, and then go show package contents. And when you go in there, you go into the library that you just worked on, and then it's just a folder directory from there. And then from there, you go to look at shared files, render files, transcoded media, and all of these like high quality media, and all these other folders that Final Cut, this program, creates as you create a library and import files. Shitloads of gigabytes of data. Even if you say like when you have the option to import, when you import, you have the option of leaving files in place or making a copy to wherever the library is located.
the project folder is.
If it's on my
Final Cut,
if it's on my work computer, it'll be on there, right?
Yeah.
If it's on a SSD, whatever, scratch this.
So you can edit from wherever it's living currently, or you can make a copy of it to live within your project folder somewhere in Final Cut in the folders.
Right. But
I see.
There's just so much data. So now that's just part of my workflow. And I would have never even had this. I would have never been able to say this unless I was just the amount of gigabytes that I create every week for the last, 18, 20, no, probably more like 3 years it's not gone down. It's only gone up.
Yeah.
That's why I have a NAS.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, because I'm there and I'm like constantly moving hundreds, if not terabytes worth of
that's why you
data.
Compress them too.
Now I'm finding this out just by doing it, right?
Yeah.
So, just this week is already 700 gigs. And then plus all of this, I'll get close to a terabyte.
Imagine this, dude.
Well,
are these on 4K?
No.
Okay.
That one is.
Okay, so you got one. Okay.
One is 4K.
Yeah.
Because this is the one
this
also
is the one
I like to use this angle
Yeah.
for the tall videos, right?
Smart.
if I use this angle for the tall video, it's like all head in the phone. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? People like holding my face in the
like this. You're like,
yeah, freaking captions on my nose and shit. You know what I mean? So I like to use
yeah, but this is all data,
dude,
all data,
so much
hours of it at a time.
So being organized is a necessity that comes along with like the more and more you do it.
With scale, especially
Oh,
of any
man.
and in any form or fashion too. It doesn't matter if the size of the scale. Like if you want to do more, you better learn to be organized now.
Have to.
And I've learned this the hard way too. You know, like because I thought a year and a half ago I was being organized, and I opened up a project. I don't know, it was a few months ago, but I opened up one of my first like projects flying under the Tev Media flag. And I was like ashamed of myself. I was like,
Everything's
what
everywhere.
is going on in here?
Yeah.
This like, and that was the file organization wasn't terrible, but bruh, when I opened that Premiere project, I was like, I just felt ashamed. I was like, I'm like disgusted. How did I get anything done?
That's like
working like this.
You can tell a lot about a person if you look at their desktop. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
oh, you one of them? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody checking
we're
their
talking
desktop.
about digital here,
Bruh.
like,
Or
you know?
even your, well, I guess it keeps it nice and tidy, this automatically.
I think it's
But-
funny when people are like, man, I was just too lazy to create a separate folder. So you're too lazy to go click,
Name.
enter, and then like highlight, drag. Like
No.
I've said it before too, but like I just think to myself like, or someone says they're too lazy to do something on their phone, like so you're too lazy to just go like this.
Yeah.
Like we're not doing anything, you know? It's wild.
Bruh, they just drag and drop. And they, cause, well, then again, you just know that if you're only dealing with a gigabyte of,
Yes,
who
yes.
knows? You know what I mean? Like, whatever, to each its own. But I understand the thing about being organized with data is that it's all in your head, because it's almost like you heard of the idea of a mental castle, mind castle, memory castle. I'm messing it up, but it's basically like way to memorize information. Is you're imagining, like, you'll attach information to imagery, and the imagery is something personal to you. So you'd say, like, I'm building the first floor of my mansion, and as I grab the red doorknob on this door, I associate that with enter memory that you want to memorize.
Okay.
Somebody's name, date, a birth date, or something.
it.
So you're just associating memories with something that you're building in your head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like you
Okay.
build your own memory castle, like Legos, but in here, and each block is kind of a memory. And that in doing that, it helps you memorize things. And you can go like, find a memory now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what was that? And then you go like, think, okay, it was second floor.
Damn, so it's like a mental database.
Yeah.
Like a mental
Yeah.
archive.
You
In a
have like Matrix style, you know, when like all the aisles, like
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. It feels like that when I'm thinking of terabytes worth of information. I need shelves.
Yeah.
I need some sort of way to handle things. And then once, like we're saying, like the parent folder, right? Let's say it's client name. In each client folder, it's like almost like DNA, like what is it, ACTG or whatever. Like within there, I know I can find this. Digital assets, logo, client submitted data, exports, like
Yep.
like all of these
Oh,
Temp-
yeah, I see what you're saying.
templates
Yeah.
are in each one. And then when I go in those,
You know exactly where everything is.
I know what else is going to be in it.
digitally,
If I
yeah.
go into digital assets, I know when I open that, I'm going to have
Yeah.
stock video, stock music.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's exactly it. 100%.
so building that out was just a necessity.
Yep.
I never freaking watched a YouTube video on it.
Yeah.
Maybe the stuff is not the first one.
I
But
don't think I did either, honestly. It was just trial and error over the years,
just
you
figure-
know, like doing creative work in a digital space, you know. Like,
how much are you shooting? Like, what's your schedule like?
Not at the scale you are, I would say. But man, my schedule, I'm shooting probably upwards of 400, 500 gigs worth of content a month, probably. And that's
100
probably
a
like
weekish,
about, yeah, I would
Yeah.
say.
toucan.
With two cams, shooting
Yeah.
everything 4K. I
Yeah,
shoot everything in 4K, 422 10-bit log. So it's like, yeah, it'll eat up some space for sure. I think 7-minute clip, 7-minute runtime clip. I was looking at it this morning. It's like 10 gigs on its own right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of the stuff we've been doing too between Tyler and I, we started like this sub brand of Raise the Bar with him and I want to say goofing off, but him and I behind the bar doing things together. And a lot of that is unmanned cameras at times. So like we set them up, we hit record on them, and like we just banter on, you know. So like I guess in a way it's kind of like this, like the sushi rice. Yeah. That was his idea, by the way. It was fucking funny, dude.
No, I know. Like I'm tuned in, homie.
I know. I see you. Thank you.
Because as a creator too, I'm like, I like the fact that there's a cocktail. That's the lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, okay, well, twins guys, but like, there's a lot of. Let's just put it this way: the term foodie, that definition is expanding every day.
Oh yeah.
The more and more people are doing it, which I think is pros and cons to that. There's a larger audience that you can scoop, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
But then also you could say it's harder to stand out, or you might get discouraged because you're not like XYZ, depending on personality here. But like, there's no shortage.
How much of a person you are, the type of person to like constantly compare yourself against other stuff, And we all do it, but just you should definitely have a healthy balance of it somewhere, I would say. Because if not, no one's ever gonna do anything if we're always just comparing ourselves to our chapter 1 to everyone's, end of their like middle of their story, right? Like it doesn't make no sense. But I think being able to commit to a niche and get as specific as possible, it really helps with all of that,
Hey, I just realized. Well, I realized before too, but I want to say it. Raise the bar. Who thought of that? That's dope.
That was me. That was me like actually. That was right. So I found equal parts videos. I was like, yo, I want to do stuff like this. And I went on Instagram and I was like, raise the bar. And I put raise the bar high. I was like, that's available. Yeah. I'm grabbing that then. And it's been like a on and off project of mine over the years, but I was building Tev Media, and then I started pivoting to cocktail focus, where I was food and beverage for a bit.
Yeah.
But I've started to notice like that's just too generic. There's thousands of food and beverage specialists around here. So how can I? And honestly, the funny thing is, cocktail video stuff, it's been in front of me the whole time. 2017 was when I decided like I kind of want to mess around with this. So when I even started my own business, March 2022, I still had to go around and try all these other things. Like I feel like it's almost inevitable unless you already know. If you're 1,000% sure, like I want to start a video production company, focus on cocktail stuff. That's different. Some people have that. But when you're kind of just exploring what it is you want to do, we all got to go through that cycle of like, try this, try that. But eventually, I would say it's important to hone in on something. And I knew that for a while. Like all the marketing and branding books that I read and podcasts I consume, it was always about getting so super specific. And I thought food and beverage was specific enough. But
no.
Then I really realized like Tyler and I did a whole leg's worth of content at EP Bar the month after you and I had a conversation. And that's where I started going through that, and I was like, yeah, no, this is the one.
This is it.
Like I need to stick in this lane. And it's super risky. That's part of the reason why people don't want to do it, because generally speaking, you're thinking you're cutting out all this by focusing on this.
Everybody's got different strategies.
Yeah.
And you'll find success stories and failure stories no matter what. So the fact that you going for it is commendable. And then you already, like, biased as I am, like, killing it. And so, and then also you're in a place that, fucking, bro, let's face it, people come on vacation a lot.
Yep.
So the fact that you have Hawaii or high at the end, it can be Chi-Town. It can be, I say shy because it's close to high, but like it could be LA, it could be NYC, Tokyo.
Or even just the word high, like raise the bar high.
No.
Like,
and
I grabbed a couple others. You want to hear them?
Let me hear it.
So I grabbed them. I never did anything with them. But I grabbed one. It was like because I was into everything beverage at the time, so I was like really into wine, everything. So I did want to raise the glass high, which I want to do like sommelier wine type stuff on.
Okay.
There's another one I think too I had, but that I was like, this works out. Like this is a good
Raise the bar is awesome.
Yeah,
like that's like Kanye Drake level bars right there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So it was right there in front of me. I was like, I this is it. Like
it's one of those things where it's like the simplicity is what is the strong point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
There's no hidden like blah blah blah. Like no, got it, and it.
Somebody might think, is this fitness?
Yeah.
But then they see what it is and they're like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And also like you behind it, the ethos of the person behind it.
Yeah.
Also, like raise the bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
One of my core rules when I first started was like no self promotion whatsoever. So it was just my own arbitrary rules I had for myself. But like, I didn't want to be in any of the content, and I didn't want to use it to promote any of the stuff I was doing. And because I wanted to be strictly for the community, and I wanted to just help facilitate that creatively. But recently, in the last few months, I broke those rules and I put my face in front of it and said like, I'm the one doing this stuff. And I've been working on some like, tips and walkthroughs of how we do certain things and been putting my own videos on there with me in there doing it. Bro, I still throw down, honestly.
I think everybody has that natural tendency to not want to be. And okay, not everybody, most of us. Some people want that.
I feel like probably you and I have similar personalities in that regard. So probably most of the people around us feel that way. Because I don't know too many people in my circle that are like, get me on camera. Like, I want to talk about this on camera. I want to do this on camera. Like, it's always reluctant. I'm like, bro, like, just go out and surf. Like, you don't have to talk. Like, I'm just trying to get some clips of you riding out there, Like,
but they want to be
for that. Yeah.
They want to be in front. And like,
most of the people I know aren't.
I get that.
I think they're camera shy, but they don't want the attention.
I think most of the people who create content, photo, video, there's a certain personality type that draws like being behind the camera.
Yeah.
And so I get it. There's a sort of a observer's bias. Like from where I am, most people are similar in that
we are.
No, but then we both know recently the value that comes with breaking that rule.
Yeah.
But also just realizing maybe we didn't break a rule. Maybe we just had a unreasonable expectation that we self-imposed. Like it wasn't even a rule in the beginning.
Yeah.
Also, I think having, exposure to like how you're saying in that sort of cutting your teeth, paying your dues moment where you're not sure, so you're trying things. I think you should also like align with different personality types and different kinds of people because through a medium that's, let's say, me doing video. So I want to do video with a personality type A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I know that's not the actual like personality types, but like D, I, but like just try and do work for, if you're a videographer and you're like, how do I find what I want to do? Do work that you like. Yeah, that's you. But then also try and do it with other different types of people. So you're going to have this good exposure to like this. Not only is this the kind of content I want to make, but this is the kind of people I want to work with.
Yeah.
Because working with people that you want to work with, that makes your job, that makes your work so much, it's not easier, but it makes it like harder to quit. It draws you in a little bit more because you want to do it. This is somebody I want to align myself with, collaborate with, help out, whatever the case. Because, like you're going to have the person who wants to be in front of the camera, like that surfer example, and then boom, easy, boom. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no prompting, no directing for me. I can already edit it. But then there's the people that you got to draw things out of.
Yeah.
That you're like, okay, but and you're asking for the fifth time to do something. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to ask for that anymore. I'm going to make a move that I'm not even going to ask you anymore. Like having all those experiences is priceless.
Yep.
And, like at the end of the day, where it's in a team sport, unless you're really just shooting yourself by yourself with a tripod or something.
Yeah.
In the day, whenever you add that kind of camera movement and stuff, like it's a team sport. There's a lot of people involved. And us too, I think it's kind of like shooting and editing. Either one you do is makes you better at the other. I think on both sides of the camera too. So being in front of the camera helps me be behind it, and vice versa. And so it's just all around, like, feels like a gym. Editing, shooting, being in front of the camera like this, being behind the camera. It's like, you can't skip leg day type of shit. You know what I mean?
Nope.
You just do all of them, even if you don't like to. Just do it. And then all of a sudden, things just start to get, let's see, again, it's not easier, but clearer.
Yeah.
Clearer.
More clarity.
Right?
For sure. Yeah.
And for me, one thing that I like expose myself to on purpose is a CapCut.
Oh, really? You did?
Yeah. Because, hey, how much videos are people making on CapCut?
Probably
choke.
More than
right?
they are doing what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point.
I'm like, what? You use a laptop for your video editing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do I need to? You know what I'm saying? So now, for the amount of data, I do need a laptop, right?
Yeah,
or a computer.
That's what I was gonna allude
But that's not to say, like, I'm not exploring CapCut in a way that other people are exploring it and using it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, at the end of the day, who's going to tell the difference? Most of the people won't. Most people
won't, dude. I've been having a hard time with it, honestly. Like, these guys who are doing like edit tutorials.
Yep.
They're like, let me show you how I did this,
Yeah.
and they tell you what it is first, and they're like, first thing you do is open CapCut. I'm like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Bro.
What?
Bro.
I'm like mind blown.
It's all of those kind of videos that prompted me to the point that I have it, I've used it.
Yeah.
And it's a cool, it's a cool tool. It obviously has its limits, but having the experience like we do of a more, let's say, handmade version,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because there's just more things that we need to do versus this. Like, one thing it did that I just did yesterday actually was like basically a montage.
Okay.
So you select either photo or video, right? For me, the creator, I hate to put that in air quotes, but like the creator, not to downplay it, the action is selecting 5 or 6, let's just say 5 things from your album.
It's like templated.
And then
almost.
pressing a button and then waiting. That's the action you do, right? And what comes out of that action, all the work that CapCut did in this example, is on par of like 5 professionals spending a whole week 5 years ago or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
because it did like cutouts, it did borders, different kinds of color treatments to it, positioning with music. I'm like, I see where this is going.
All right, I'm sold. I'll jump back in. I downloaded it once, and then I was like, this is not intuitive for me, my workflow currently.
You're right.
That was like
Editing with your
I'd
thumbs.
rather
Like,
just be on my keyboard and my mouse. I don't know.
well, try it, because I think it offers a different view, a different lens of what you're already familiar with. Right? We know what shooting and editing is like, but try it on this.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you're editing with your thumbs. It's kind of like weird.
Which
but
is funny because at one point in time, it was the only way I knew how to edit.
On
At one
the
point.
smartphone, or
I mean, when Instagram first launched, like everything
You're
was
right.
this. Like, I didn't have a laptop to edit photo. I didn't know what Lightroom was back then until I found it in the mobile app store.
Yup.
You know, and I was like, oh, what is this thing? So it's funny how the cycle kind of, the trends and whatnot, sometimes they go right back to
Right back.
you can either accept them and roll with them, or
It's fun. That's the thing.
yeah, I can see
It's
that.
fun.
For
It's
sure.
convenient. You can do it. Everybody takes their phone when they take a dump out. Like,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
One dump and you get one video. One video per dump.
Well, I'm sold now, bro.
And
I'm productive while taking a shit now. Like, perfect.
Yeah, I gotta make a story. I'll be right back. You know what I mean? Make a reel.
Yeah, I got a meeting, and I gotta edit some stuff too.
But I was thinking, if because it's coming out of my album,
Yeah,
from my
like
phone,
your camera roll,
right?
or
My
whatever,
camera
right?
roll. I was like, oh, I could just feed it all the stuff that comes out of here. This camera. So if I just thought about different workflows I could implement with this. It's like, I could just put I can still be creative in that. Like, I can choose what goes in there, knowing, like, let's say in this example, I have 5 clips. Then I'll choose what 5 clips I have from maybe something I shot, like 4K downsize, whatever the case. Maybe you have a sequence of a drink being poured. Like you can still choose just those 5 clips before you fine tune, edit it on your timeline.
Yep.
Just export them, airdrop it to your phone or whatever.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
And then now you can just say, let me see what it does. What is it going to pop out?
Yeah.
If it takes a push of a button, I'll see.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I've done that back and forth thing where it's like, get something from the camera, airdrop it to my phone, use an app on my phone, export that back. It's very cumbersome, but export it back and then work with it in the timeline. I've done that for some stuff.
With CapCut, you're saying?
This one was like with Kyber. No, Kyber. What was it? It was an AI one because I needed like a little bit of an AI moment. What app was it? Bazaar?
Okay. It was one of the generative?
Yeah.
On the phone? Okay.
No. I'm trying to like bring it up so I can actually. Here it is.
Excuse me.
I have those ones like on the laptop because most of them are.
Yeah.
Midjourney, Kyber, the Microsoft one.
I don't even know which ones are on iOS or on phone. I have no idea.
I mean, dude, there's so many. And I get the red flags.
Yeah.
Right? Slippery slope arguments and such. It's not going away. It's here. I'd rather learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Right? Than not know and let it be the freaking monster in the hills kind of thing.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that this is too clunky of a workflow right now, but it's only a matter of time. Like just yesterday, I open up, Gmail, and then I get the notification, hey, you're off the wait list for, they're like sampling something, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just seeing more and more on take all the subscriptions I have, you know what I mean? For whatever, all these different places I get stock footage, music, whatever, even Dropbox, like these subscription plans, a lot of them are finding ways to put in like smart tools, predictive tools.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just getting more and more easier.
Yeah.
Or I guess we're getting more and more freed up.
Yeah.
To do other stuff that previously cost time. So what I would like, if I was to make an ask to Bill Gates, is a way to label files, tag files, and store files in a way that's way less clunky than it is right now. So how many clicks I have to do, and I alternate between list view, column view, depending if I want to see by ranking by name or by date added or by size.
Yep, same.
All of these levers, it's just too much of the movement that goes in between them.
Yep.
So if we could make that process a lot more smoother, and again, it might only be relevant to people who are dealing with this much on a regular basis versus 90% of people with the product, but like make that process more streamlined to again free us up. And that's an extra hour of editing that I could do. That's another 3 videos I could put out. Hey, you gotta ask. You don't ask your
closed mouths don't get fed, right?
Hey, help me file 17 terabytes worth of clips.
Some existing AI out there, scan that, what he just said, and forward it over to Bill.
Thank you, please.
Get it up and running.
Consider this your prompt.
Yes,
well,
there we go.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I like that.
I thought about having, this is your prompt. So
that's such a 2023 thing to say right? Like, this is 2023.
Prompt. Nobody used to say prompt in 2022.
Used to say was it Jeff Foxworthy where he used to drop that line like, here's your sign or something in comedy?
Really?
Now it's like, here's your prompt. Like, it's the 2023 version.
Very timely. It is. I want the ease. That's the thing, right? Like it's offering convenience. That's what the promise is. I would like for something to go through all this footage and identify for me the wide, medium, close, outdoor, indoor, color, temperature. So I just have this, and then I could just voice command, say, I want exterior shot.
Oh, that's got to be coming.
You know what I'm saying? Where I'm just talking like the conductor with a stick in front of everyone else with the instrument. I want to just be doing that, but speaking it, and then actually maybe watching a real or close to real time rendition of it in front of me. And then that's how we're editing now. We're not even using our fingers and these tapping things and buttons. It's exterior wide to say, short in duration, length in duration. All these things are already, they're already possible. Voice dictation, or predictive. There's predictive, there's generative. There's also like that lag or the time lag is getting shorter and shorter. Yeah. So now it's almost real time. Like if I could just translate all the actual actions that my computer records when I'm editing, but I could just say it.
Yep.
So now I'll edit it on the way over. I'm picking you up, but I'm editing your video type shit where I'm just saying, start here. We could even do the one shot. You know what I'm saying? Like start at X, you got X, Y coordinations, you've got scale, you can change these things, you can crop it. It's like, why don't I just be able to speak the editing commands into this 17 terabyte vault that I have and just make videos? Imagine how many more videos I can make.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine, honestly.
I've been wanting to dig into the Japan files forever, and I just never do because I got to plug in this thing and I don't have that cord and this thing is old and blah, blah, blah. But I have...
When in compounding commands together.
Yeah.
Oh,
bruh,
man.
You know what I mean?
Add an adjustment layer at this point. Oh, my goodness. That'd be crazy.
I made... So when I made... So my company's name is The Double Cut. And I made that when I was still in Japan. You could call it identity issues, searching for my roots. Like I've been living in Japan at this point for like 6, 7-ish years, right? And I was like, man, I feel just as at home here as I do at home in Hawaii. And I felt like I had that kind of duality to my personality, being Black Japanese, for example. Having this duality, right? I always felt like I was never half. I was always double. I was always full Japanese, full Black. I get invites to both barbecues kind of thing. I'm part of each. So I'm actually double.
Yeah.
Flip that around. Like half is kind of negative. Like you're not full, incomplete.
Yeah.
So then I was like double and then cut. And like when I made the double cut, I was thinking, how can I visually explain this? Mm-hmm. Visually communicate what I just said in words, right? And if I had that kind of ability now to just speak it, the idea was basically, okay, mid-shot, center frame, subject, which is me. Mid-shot, center frame, subject, eyes maybe right on the horizon or like right in the middle of the frame. And a YouTube banner or a website banner, I was thinking, right? And then left half, so it's a composite image, left and right down the middle.
Yep.
But the face is lined up, so it's a composite like this, right? But it's like me in different places that I've been to that I recorded. So I recorded stuff like this of me, like just video clips, maybe 10 seconds like this standing at the train station, 10 seconds like this standing in the middle of the rice fields, 10 seconds like this standing in freaking Nanakuli Beach or something. Sick. And so you can just imagine like the halves.
Yeah.
But it just cycles through. And some are snowy, some are sunny, some are like in whatever. Like it just goes through the world that I've been through. And it shows like, if anything, the idea is there's way more. But I can't do that manually.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good luck, bro.
Bruh, I'm pulling 5. I can't do that manually. I'm just waiting for when I can just speak that.
Yeah.
Because then it's already there.
Yeah, I think it's coming though, right? Because aren't they building? And I'm not paying much attention to all this stuff, to be quite honest. Just too much going on at once.
Yeah.
I use ChatGPT for what I do in certain ways, but I feel like I've been seeing like the Adobe Firefly stuff where like you can input. You can input commands, like type them in. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time till you can say them.
It's going to be real close. Like, if not, it's probably already in a lab somewhere.
Oh, for sure. Someone's testing it out there.
Guaranteed.
I always have, like, I don't know if I've heard this theory somewhere, but, like, you got to think, like, the technology that we get access to as consumers has been around for who knows how fucking long before we get our hands on it, right? Like,
there's 128 gig memory cards in, like, way back. They're just putting them on the satellites, and only NASA had, could buy them. Now we get 128 gigabyte memory card. Like, bruh, you ever open an SD card?
No, I haven't.
Dude,
actually.
Try it. Open an SD card, not the mini SD. The crazy thing is,
Like one of these, right? Like,
bro, yeah,
this one.
yeah.
Like one of these.
If you open
it wouldn't
this,
be this one. I wouldn't open this one.
yeah,
but
that's
okay.
not. That's yeah.
Let me get one that's fried at
But
one of these points.
basically, go for it. Like one of the old ones that you don't use. Open it.
Is there anything in there?
It's a fucking bag of potato chips. More than half.
Shut the hell
More
up.
than half is empty.
Oh, okay.
Of inside. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I mean, I didn't think there was potato chips in there, but I was like, it's just like a little pouch with
Mostly air.
what, microchips in it or something?
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right. So there ain't shit in there.
It's just empty space. And you're like, why did they? Oh, it's the business side of things, probably.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When you open it, it's actually like the size of a micro
SD. That's what I
but
would
it's
think.
just in a
'Cause
case.
I'm guessing if you open a micro SD, like it's probably in
more
that
close to like
form factor.
makes sense. There's less wasted container space.
Interesting.
Nuts, bro.
Interesting.
And I was like, what the? Then I was thinking, you know what? You're right. There is a commerce gateway that prohibits this kind of what makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't make commerce sense, but it makes sense to us.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna release it 36. You know what I'm saying? Like we're
I love how we always come back to the SD card thing
Bruh,
somehow. It's hilarious. I love it.
It's nuts, but cause there's more.
Yeah, I got a
What is that? 128 and a
yeah.
256.
256. Yeah, I'm kind of scared to go more than that. I don't
Do you need a 5?
know.
Freaking 12.
I don't think so. Well, they got like those. What kind of cards you use in those? You use the
I use this
the Express A or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that the Express A? I think.
Yeah. I just spending that much.
I think this has an option.
I
This
did
one.
the it does
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for the
right there.
one slot. Yeah.
same thing. I mean, yeah, we got the same camera basically.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah.
I did almost like the math equation where I was like, how much time am I spending? That's when I figured out I want a system that can ingest a terabyte a week.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sort of rabbit hole, I was like, well, I need to obviously cut down my transfer time. So
Yeah.
it made sense for me to get those cards in the reader because it does move
Really?
quick.
Okay.
So like, for example, I just did one of these before he came actually. And I use altogether it's about 250 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
But this Rodecaster right here records onto a mini SD, right?
Okay.
So I put that into the adapter and I put the SD adapter into my MacBook Pro. At
Okay.
the same time, I have the Express reader for the FX trees. Take those cards out. Like, for example, this one that's recording on 4K right here, that file was like 85 gigs, right? And I put that, so 85 gigs versus like 8 gigs of audio data coming from the Rodecaster.
Uh-huh.
This one finished first. So that means 80 gigs was
Oh,
transferred
wow.
faster than 8 gigs through,
Okay.
you know what I mean? It's worth it. It's definitely worth the time.
That's transferred to the network attached storage
No, to my just to my
the
laptop.
MacBook.
Yeah,
Okay,
to my
got it.
MacBook.
to the hard drive.
To the hard drive on my Mac.
Okay,
Because first
gotcha.
I just put it on there.
Yeah.
Then I hardwire the Mac Ethernet to the modem,
Which is
to
connected
the router, sorry.
to the NAS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I have a working copy right on my computer. So I'll bang out whatever I need to of that project. Sometimes I don't need to, and it'll go straight to my
Gotcha.
NAS, and then the editors will hit it in the NAS.
Yeah.
If I'm working on it, it stays on my work computer until I've basically bang it out.
Yep.
Then put it, and it's already on the
Compress
NAS.
the project.
Yeah, compress the
Get
project.
it, backlog it to the NAS.
Put the exports
or
on the
update it.
NAS.
Yeah.
Yeah, update.
Yep.
So that's what's working out for me right now.
Okay.
I would like to actually have, and some places do, like frame.io. There's some services or combinations of services you could use where you can essentially edit together.
Yeah. Yeah.
With-
Like collaborative.
Yeah.
In real time. Right.
And maybe you're using proxy data or some other kind of stand-in replacement for the actual
Yeah.
heavy
Like
data.
placeholder type stuff. Right.
Actually, on FX3s, my friend taught me how to shoot. Basically, you're making, you know, how you shoot JPEG and RAW for photos.
Yeah. It'll do that for proxy files. Right?
Yeah.
In the, I think this might do it too, possibly.
Probably.
Or the FX30, because I have that, which is the baby version of the 3.
Yeah. Either way, man.
I just always wondered about, because I've never actually had someone else edit my footage, really.
That's just, I'm going to tell you right now, that's just like the barrier of being in front of the camera. first you feel like resistance,
Yeah.
but then what are you getting for it?
Time.
If you're getting more shoots in,
Yeah.
I'll fucking take it.
Yeah.
Or you know what I
100%.
mean? Like,
yeah.
what are you getting for it? So okay, maybe I'm not touching it, my hands aren't on it, but then that gives me XYZ more opportunities to do whatever, right?
Yep.
So I kind of, it's hard. It's your baby, right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, what are you doing? What are you getting in return for that? Oh, is it worth it? Okay, I'll do it. I'll trust someone else to do what I think does it justice.
Yeah.
Even though it's not the same as what I would do, just get rid of that.
You gotta let go of it.
Yeah,
right?
you gotta get a little. It's hard for everything I see on 100 Bad Videos too. I'm like, bro, some I edit, some I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I know that I want to hit a pace that's not possible if I were to do everything.
Yeah.
Just simple.
Oh
right?
yeah, no way. No way, dude.
So
I was like mind blown how many
Bro.
posts every night I would see. I was like, view requests for it. I was like, yeah, let's go.
that's cool that like people, especially like, you, someone who actually creates video too, but even other ones that are stoked to have that as something to share too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there's that is kind of a payout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a lot of ways of just relationships, you could say influence.
Just the network effects of that
Yeah.
is just incomprehensible
Bruh,
to a degree. You know, like
ripples.
it's crazy.
And at the end of the day, it's like, I just want to have conversations with people and learn. And you know what? Part of me too is like, all right, stop. One of my hurdles, my self-imposed hurdles right now is actually doing it in Japanese.
Ooh,
Bro, you think,
sick.
you know how you always feel like, oh, I hate watching a video of myself. I hate my voice. Bro, try in another language that you're not even like fluent in. I see all the, like, for me, I follow a bunch of funny skit people, but also like you could say foodies, influencers in Japan who are foreigners. And I'm always thinking like, bruh, I
Foreigners
left
in what way?
in Japan. Like they're not
from Japan.
They're not from Japan. They're
Okay,
living
got
in
it.
Japan. They make Japan content.
Okay, got it.
Some of them aren't even living in Japan. I was like, fuck, well, I'm over here making all these self-imposed limitations again. I was like, if I had just stayed there and I didn't do weddings or something, I feel like I would have definitely got into that lane
Yeah,
of,
it would have been like the natural
you know what I
progression.
mean? Like
right?
making
yeah.
content in Japan,
Yeah,
in Japanese English mix, because I see people who are doing it. I'm like, I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
Speaks to you, right?
I'm the target
Speaks to your
audience.
soul, right?
That's me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And like I was like, hey, I got something to say too.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Jump in there, man.
Right. That's it's a long time
Yeah,
overdue.
You got to. This is him
Oh yeah.
committing right here on video.
Fuck, you called me out.
Yeah, this is what we do it for.
You're
right?
right. You're right. You're
This is what
right.
we do it for.
Fuck, I raised the bar. Huh?
Raise any kind bar, bro.
Hey. The thing about language, I feel like maybe I've talked to you about like how I see video as language. There's productive skills, which is like speaking and writing,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the passive skills of like listening and reading.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing with the video. I think there's a productive skill and then like the receptive learning. Or what is
Yeah,
it?
like expressive versus receptive.
And
almost.
and so I see for me it's just natural thinking to connect those dots and then think of what I'm doing with everything I'm doing with video, but then everything I've done with language and how I want to sort of restart that engine
Mm-hmm.
with language because
Yeah.
I like having that sort of problem in front of me to work with.
Yeah.
Like how you like how
So
am I
you're
do this
kinda,
drink?
like, figuring out where to connect those things that you already have access to.
And we're communicating something at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, how can I make this drink look cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem that you ask yourself, and then you solving it is what lights you on fire.
Yep.
Same thing where like, I want a problem and let's get to it. That constant practice is like, it's something I kind of miss, and I'm reminded of now because I'm going to Japan, right? Pretty
Yeah.
soon, like, and it's been a while, so your boy's rusty.
Yeah.
But I'm all right with that. You know what I'm saying?
Better way to challenge yourself by airing it out there.
Bro, and imagine I don't want to go too hard in like shooting.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know what? You know when
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, yeah.
family time or shooting time.
No,
you know
I
what
know, I know. Especially when traveling, you gotta like, you gotta make a decision. But
How
I,
do you,
do you wanna remember your trip like this, or do you wanna, like,
all of the above.
yeah, all of it, right? You gotta get that Apple headset then, right?
Well, but then you also get the, you're doing this, the distraction quality of like, well, what up? Either if you have this, there's like no turning back. You cannot have this and then not
Yeah.
get
I
your
know.
wide established shot, no people, and then the family shot, and then you know what I mean?
know.
It's
Like, Dad, we're trying to get out of here. We've been here for 2 hours. Even
no, babe, walk one more time.
yeah,
Don't go.
just a little bit slower next time. A little bit slower.
No, stay. Put
Yeah.
the bag down. Oh, trying to get to
But I
Spielberg
mean,
over
that's
here.
why we have these, though.
And cap cut.
And cap cut. Yeah, no shit, for real though.
It's almost like I have
For real
two
though.
houses. Like you have A cam, B cam, but then A editing suite, B editing suite.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, you know what? I think this phone, I just paid it off. I got a text message like, "Congratulations, you just
no more installments.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. I guess my monthly's gonna change now. But then they always throw in that offer of like, "Do you want the new one?"
New one, yeah.
So
The
I'm like-
upgrade.
I'm like, do I?
Which one is that?
This is the 13 Pro.
I don't even know which one I have.
Which on day 2, look, I cracked this lens right there. So the whole time I had this phone,
Oy,
it was like this.
damn. Which lens is that in?
How can you? Is it in this?
I don't know. When you take pictures, is it like,
What here?
is all your? Oh, well, that looks fine, right?
Oh yeah. Sometimes you'll see it like with the light with lens flares, it just looks extra foggy because it's right over the iris.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That crack is right over. But it's not that bad.
It's almost like you got a mist filter on there.
Yeah, and especially with like outdoors sunny, I get these weird like
Then you really
foggy.
see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. That makes sense. Which one do I have? I really don't use my phone for anything other than Instagram. I got the 13, texting and like the usual stuff. But I mean, I'll take pictures like how we're talking about, like on a trip and stuff. Like I'll take family stuff just to document.
Yeah,
the moment,
yeah.
You know? But like, I don't really do anything creatively on here anymore. I just prefer not to.
But if you can make the same raise the bar Tev Media stuff on that versus this, would you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fool, I guess. Like, I'm still about the efficiency, I guess, but I just feel like I invested into this profession and this business, and as much as I can, I try to use this with what I do.
I think especially if you're serving paying clients,
there
is a gravitas
for sure
to showing up with, okay, this guy's invested in it. You know what I'm saying? Because, we see like those videos where an influencer is collaborating with another like celebrity or something, but that influencer is just always shooting with their phone or something, right? And it's like, that's who you are though. You're that person.
It's like embedded into your personal brand in a way.
What are you over here making these smooth, crispy, clean cocktail videos, right? And then you show up, ready? Really? I mean,
can you turn the lights up in here a little bit, and then we're good.
What kind of lights do you use on your shoes?
I'm in a nan light ecosystem. So Pavo tubes, 15-inch Pavo tubes. I got a 4-light kit, and
so 4 15-inch Pavo tubes.
Yep, the LED tubes.
It's kind of like these, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
The MT Pros.
I feel like Amaranth. That was an Amaranth aperture. Yeah, so same thing, just a little bit larger, I think. And then my key light for most of our like professional shoots is a 500 Forza 500 watt light.
It's like
with like the big ass diffuser on it. It's huge.
The big
It's like
hood.
It's like 48-inch diffuser, 47-inch diffuser, and then we just put a honeycomb grid over that thing and call it a day, pretty much.
So you got one key, and then the Pavo tubes.
Pavo tubes I normally use as accents, or they're pretty much accent lights.
Yeah.
And like I'll put those on warm, like 2700 Kelvin.
Wait, so the bar behind Tyler, that's you uplighting it essentially with the Pavo tubes?
That is mostly the lighting in the bar, the ambient lighting of the bar.
Okay.
But we shut off certain lights so the back pops a little bit more.
Yeah, okay.
But then in those videos, if you look like underneath, like there's the bar
the
top
lip, yeah.
underneath, the lights under there is lights in the bar, but they flicker. The LED flickers real bad. So I actually just pop a Pavo tube under there and just light it warm.
Well, how do you mount it?
Excuse me, the little clip mount things that it came with. It's like it's like a little bracket.
Yeah,
so you can screw it onto the 3/4 and then clip it on, and it'll just hold it like that. So I use those. There's way more like effective
if it works
accessories, but that works. And then if I'm gonna stand them up right, I just screw them onto the top of the light stands.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Are they magnetic?
The large ones aren't. The 6-inch tubes, which I have 2 of those stick right onto. Yeah, they're magnetic.
So that's light, camera. What about sound? I guess there's not too much like. So everything's a shotgun.
Yeah, so I'll use the Rode Wireless Go 2 system, and then I'll actually basically plug one of the transmitters into here.
Oh, got it.
And then I'll clip it on here. For our Negroni Bros content, we actually boom it over us.
With this though.
With just this, yeah.
With the connected to the Rode
transmitter,
got it.
receiver into the FX30, which is the stagnant angle.
Got it.
So I'll just roll camera on that, on the FX30, and I'll get in front of it, like ignoring the fact that it's filming, just to grab audio.
Yeah, just sync it up.
Sync it up later.
Yeah. I got you, dog. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good too, honestly. Like even the stuff I do in my office, like I actually prefer
your shotgun
to do it exactly like that. I'll just put the transmitter on here and I'll hold it like an interview microphone.
Man on the street style.
And it sounds the best, I think, without any treatment to it. Because I did the lavalier in the office, and I had to do a lot to it in post to kind of get rid of the reverb of the room and stuff. When I do it on this, it sounds really good, I think. So I've been rocking with it.
I don't, for me, like I would say in the last 12, 18 months-ish, you see a lot of those Rode mics. But also, for me, I'm like, it just looks like you're wearing a name tag.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just this big distract. I don't want to like offend people if who's like, that's my, it is, but at the same time, you're just, you know
especially
what I mean?
with the little dead cat on it.
And
it's like a little poof on it, right? Yeah.
So there's my mic right here, you know? And like, I was like, okay, again, it's just all levers. What are you trying to do with this video, right?
Yep.
And if it's over here, I know the sound engineers have thought of this, but it's here versus here.
Yeah.
And that makes it different. Even this versus this is a difference. So like here versus here, or here, or even if you're booming, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I too, right, I have lav mics, but I also have shotgun mics, and like these mics, you know what I'm saying? Like, so all in all, I feel like when you have the lav mic, it's great for set. Well, 2 different kind of lav mics I use. One is actual Sennheiser ME2 or MEK2, whatever, that goes into a camera body or a recorder, wireless transmitter or whatever. The other one is like the recorder, the Zoom F2.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I actually have what do I have? I think I have a Tascam H8, I think. Right, I've actually never used it still. I've had it for like 6 months. Yeah, it's the thing looks like an alien space phone. Like it looks like it looks crazy, this thing. Okay. But regardless of what it looks like, I just never use it. A lot of times I'm filming by myself or with me and Tyler, and there's enough shit going on already to add another thing to worry about. And, you know, like I said, I feel like the results that I get from this little guy right here has been fantastic, honestly. I've been very happy with it. So until we get to a point where it's like an absolute requirement where the sound quality needs to go, you know, ballistic.
But when would that be though?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. Cause like, man, I love this little microphone, honestly. And one thing I like about it, I don't know if all the other ones do now, but it has a little gain knob built into it.
What?
And this is one of the reasons. Well, one of the reasons why I want it was for this. It's got its own battery built into it. And I'll be honest, when I saw it, I was like, that thing looks cooler than the other ones.
When you,
it's basically a little.
So when you boom it indoors, do you even put that on, or you?
Actually, I just leave it on nowadays. It just habit, I think, because it's also like a slight pop filter too.
Yeah.
So like it helps control those hisses and those P's and stuff. So
that's cool. You got a little gain knob on there.
yeah, that's actually like one of the best things about this thing, really. Because even like with the wireless Go, the transmitters, receivers, like it's a little more tedious to dial in like your decibels or whatever. With this, I could just honestly, like, if it's too hot and I'm hitting red, I could just lower it. And it's great. Love it.
So there's that. So you monitoring it through here, or do you even put a monitor on, or you just?
No, I do. We use a monitor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Monitor has been essential. And the thing is, I use a cheap monitor too. I don't use anything expensive. But it has everything I need on it. Works great. Super reliable. Had it for a few years now. And the thing is, I wasn't using it too much for a while because we were shooting everything vertical for a while. And I didn't have a good way to set it up with the monitor and keep the system vertical.
You mean on the gimbal? Or
just in general, because the monitor I have doesn't have like a lock orientation feature in it.
Yeah.
So when it would like flip around and do crazy shit. So I was like, fuck it. So I was just always shooting off of this little screen for a while.
Because it's meant to be here.
It's supposed to do that, right? Like,
so as soon as you do this,
it would just react strange. Like it would flip depending on because it would flip on its own, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, the image itself.
So then depending like it was just too much of a pain to like figure out how to get it to work perfectly and consistently and reliably. So I was like
eating up time then.
I was just getting used to shooting without it. But now that we've gone back to, I want to shoot everything horizontal again. Like I don't care what it is. Because simple fact is like I can turn horizontal to vertical. I cannot turn vertical to horizontal. Right? So like
it's just when you're shooting, you have to keep in mind, right?
The framing. So like in the on the monitor, I have the reference.
There you go.
The 16:9 vertical reference on it. So that works out good. And if not, like, for the stuff we do, you get creative with it. You punch, crop it a little bit, double layer it, blur out the background and stuff. Like there's ways to get around it. But like if you're stuck with vertical, you're stuck with vertical. That's all you got.
There's no more. Actually,
I mean, you could, but it would look terrible. I would assume
that's what content aware fill and Photoshop is doing already. I mean, it's been doing that already. For video, for Photoshop though, for photos, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you wanted, it was cropped right there, the photo,
generative fill and stuff.
You could just do that, and now you can even put a prompt in there and say, fill it up with.
There's been some hilarious ones I see on my Explore feed. You seen the ones where like they take like a screenshot of like a porn star? Have you seen?
No,
those?
And then what?
And then they like circle, they highlight everything around her, just her face or something.
Oh yeah,
and then, like put like the generative fillet. It's so funny, bro.
Like having dinner.
Yeah. Like it's like super like wholesome stuff, right? It's so funny, dude.
I did see that.
Those are times I love the internet when I see stuff like that. It's so funny.
But I mean, shoot, imagine when you can start doing a video.
Oh.
Because it's again
crazy
in a
stuff,
NASA laboratory right now. You know what I'm saying? They
guaranteed.
Generative.
They generative filled the rest of the galaxy probably.
Just content aware generative fill my whole video.
You seen the I don't want to go too far in like politics or anything like that, but you saw the strike, right? The Hollywood writers strike and now the actors strike. Because I just saw, ironically, when I was taking a dump earlier before I left, I was on Instagram and I saw what that was about, and I was like, damn.
The thing about burn it into your house, or do you move out of your? I think it was basically
they're basically saying for actors that they'll scan them with AI and then pay them for one day's work and then never work with them again. But I guess the contract stipulation for the studios is they would use their likeness and image indefinitely without compensation.
That's a straight up That's a hood move right there.
Dude, that's crazy.
Robbery. Straight
Insane. Why do you even use them then? Just do it anyway.
You already used, dude. There's that. I think is the biggest bottleneck of right now AI tech is the ethics part.
Yeah, 100%.
We know we can do it. It's the ethics part, the lawsuits,
and we know who
who
takes advantage of the lack of ethics in these situations, which is the higher up the chain you
whoever
go.
has the power.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing I saw taking a shit was it was
just safely assume from now on when we're talking about news we've been exposed to, it was probably on the John.
Yeah, when we were
probably in the toilet
dropping the kids off.
Yeah. Safely assume moving forward.
It actor strike, and it was in my friend's story who's a screenwriter too. And the headline was such that, like, basically they're on them. You know, we always say they, right? Like, the powers that be are saying, well, we're not going to do anything unless you guys are, like, losing your houses or getting kicked out of your apartments. If it's that serious. And I already knew about the screenwriter strike, but then the post was, like, an actor. So, like, the actors too, right? Like, but that just, if we just say, all right, we're in that same boat as, let's say, the actors and screenwriters, the people who are outputting the content.
Yes, for sure.
That's making somebody else money, right? Like, you could say, hey, I just ran my AI through Tev Media. I got you through Raise the Bar. I got you style. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're inspired by the twins?
Equal parts, yeah.
Equal parts. Boom. Let's just take those 3 accounts. Get the taste, the flavor that you are offering. Now I'm just going to offer it through my distribution networks that are just way bigger than you. You dunzos. I tried to make it personal to how that could happen to me. And shit, bro. At the end of the day, your name, image, and likeness is like the last stand. Because once that's gone,
for real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
your songs, your videos, okay, people it's out there and people can do whatever they want to it. You know what I'm saying? Like videos we made, people can remix everywhere. It's gone. It's a bird. It's gone. But your name, image, and likeness, that's like the last thing. If anybody can do what they do to your videos, to your name, image, and likeness, fuck, bruh. That's a huge watershed moment, I think, in this whole discussion at large. Because, I mean, even this, I took a risk. I thought about it last year when I'm, like, buying all this shit. I'm like, do I want to put out that much name, image, and likeness on myself?
Heavy exposure.
Oh.
Heavy.
Because now, bro, voices, gone. Image, gone. Or I say gone, but accessible.
Yeah.
Voice, mimicable, copyable, duplicatable. And if you have the person with the means, fuck, now there's...
Yeah, and the wrong set of intentions.
I mean, we've seen all, like, the fake Obama videos or Joe Biden videos.
Yeah, but now you don't got to be Rogan or the president of the free world for it to happen to you.
Can be. Hey, but you know, okay, plus side.
Yeah.
Plus side, because, okay, client in New York, I can make that video for you. You don't even have to fly over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just send me a couple pictures of yourself or send me a 10-second video of you, of your face around like this. I'll let my AI take care of the rest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's always the like people still take photos on film. People still listen to records on vinyl. Yeah, and I don't know. It's very seldom where it just the traditional way or the conventional way completely is obliterated. I'm not saying it never happens, but
you know what?
In the artistic world, like people, there's always those cycles, might not be as profitable.
What I would like to see, which would be kind of using this power in a, for me, better way. Imagine watching an interview with, let's say, Queen Liliu Okalani and Tulsi Gabbard. For example, you know the way they brought back Tupac at Coachella how many years ago?
Yeah.
Drake just had one where he had his younger self. In a lot of music videos, there's like, I think at the beginning of it was Eddie Murphy. Was it Miss Doolittle? No, Miss Doubtfire. Not Miss Doubtfire. Doctor. You know the one, the family where he's like he plays every character. Mama's House. No, was it?
No, it
Again,
Dr. Doolittle.
About to get roasted for not knowing her movies, but you know what I'm talking about. Where Eddie Murphy was Hercules. Yes.
Yeah. What is that?
One of us is gonna shout it later. Big Mama's? That's not Big Mama's House.
Oh, it was.
That was Martin Lawrence, I think. Fuck, that's gonna.
Bro, wait a minute. Keep going. I gotta look it up.
I think that was the beginning of having like this sort of acceptance of not real but perceived. Like you can duplicate things, you can manipulate faces and voices, and the way you edit it and cut it. So it's like if we just go down that slippery slope, it's like you could have interviews with figures of the past. Yeah. And make it look convincing. And in fact, if you use that you pour in a message to that, because now if you're manipulating, might as well make it a story.
Yeah.
Treat it like write it out, make it a story, make it have a message, impact. So you could have maybe even characters in movies. I mean, already for anime is that, right? You're creating the whole face in the world. But what if we just had, if we're now letting the reins loose on name, image, and likeness, have it, but then have it look like it's like this. Like if I could have a podcast with a figure of the past right here, that would be, I think that'd be pretty cool. And then I could craft it in a way that makes a statement kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I was interviewing a 25-year-old Muhammad Ali right here, that would be pretty dope. I wouldn't be shadow boxing with him. But that
was my sad attempt of trying to feel like what it would be like to be sitting here as him. Failed.
You know, it's kind of like the conversation of bringing back, it's the Jurassic Park. Bringing back something that...
Damn.
I'm not,
that's a good point, though. That's a good point.
That's the whole ethical or suspect, like the problem, the issue in that whole movie.
Yeah.
Should we or should we not?
Yeah.
Right? Hey, at least that it came out in a way of like, extinct dinosaurs and whatever, but...
Well, yeah, if we pursued that, this new leg of the conversation, I think we end up in a whole other rabbit hole of like cloning and whatnot, compounded with the intelligent side of it, right?
I think about like what's real. As people who shoot and edit videos, we know, like you said, how you have 2 cameras, but you'll do, let's say, 2 takes. So just simplify it down. 2 takes with 2 cameras, you have 4 angles on your multicam, or you have 4 clips. If it was real, we'd only see one of those.
Yeah.
But it's okay to manipulate it to create something that says, this is a representation of the real thing.
Yeah.
So we're already doing it. We're already manipulating images and sounds for a desired effect. We're already doing it.
Yeah.
So if we just turn it up, Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think we're lying to people. I think lying has a little bit of intention behind it. But we are presenting something that is not as it actually played out. In fact, you could say it's our job to clean it up.
It's true. That's a fucking good point.
You know what I'm saying? So we already are kind of in that position. And I think it's something that now, like the old powers that be are realizing the shift in power. It's in the hands of the creators.
Yeah.
We can create that now.
And that power is intensified every day that goes by.
Like, every day.
By magnitudes every day and now. The way everything's going.
Bruh.
Damn.
I think, yeah.
Damn.
Just mic drop.
For real.
Oh, wait. Nah, I don't like drop your mic.
Nah, that's all right. Drop them plenty of times. Nah.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, what is there any, like, what can we look forward to? I feel like we kind of did a catch up. I can't believe it's been 5 months, but you're in the lane, cocktail video.
Yep.
What can we look forward to?
I would say, I guess me kind of honing in on owning that being my specialty. So all things kind of regarding that, which is sharing knowledge. And obviously, I'm committed to every, piece of content we put out getting better than the one before. But yeah, we'll keep banging the drum on client work, working with bars, restaurants, hotels, building the Negroni Brothers whole brand with Tyler, which is gonna be a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend, anyone that's interested in cocktails, give that a look. It's
how's Negroni? What can I expect at Negroni Brothers versus Tev Media versus Raise the Bar?
That's a good question, actually. So Tev Media currently is probably the least prioritized of my endeavors. Raise the Bar is where all the client work will live. Any tips and walkthroughs or anything like that, it's gonna all live through Raise the Bar. And then Negroni Bros is a dedicated channel for me and Tyler to get behind the bar together and do sometimes silly shit, other times show someone how to make a drink. Our target audience for that, so to speak, in like branding terms, is really more so catered to bartenders. And it's not that we're ever shutting out anyone who's not a bartender, but our goal is to cater entertaining content towards people that know what it's like to be behind the bar, because there's a lot of content creators who went the other direction, right? So Tyler and I are, or at least me first, I'm a bartender first, who endeavored to become a filmmaker afterwards. There's a lot of people who built audiences as influencers on social media, pursuing bar as a hobby only, which is great. They're doing fantastic. I don't knock the hustle.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like me, as someone who's lived that life, like literally, who has woken up in the middle of the night hearing, because I'm having a nightmare about the printer behind the bar never stopping printing tickets, no matter how hard I work or how many, like, I sometimes feel
that one hit for all the bartenders.
Yeah, bartenders, anybody who works in a kitchen, like you know that nightmare. You wake up, and you're working as hard as hell, but the thing just never stops. So, point being is that sometimes I find it a little hard to relate to that type of content where I know that people they don't know what it's like to be through those or live through that or work through that. And like I said, I'm not knocking it. I just want to approach it from the other side, So that's what Negroni Bros is about. And the other side of it too is, we kind of stumbled upon Negroni Bros as a joke. Every year there's a week dedicated, known as Negroni Week, in the bar industry. And it's like a fundraiser, charitable week-long event where bars and restaurants, or bars from around the world, if I'm not mistaken, can participate in the program and donate. They'll put a Negroni drink on their menu and donate X amount of profits to a charity, I believe. So last year, we did a little bit, Tyler and I, back to Clear Ice. He basically took a giant ice block. Well, not giant, but it was like this big.
Yeah.
He drilled 2 pukas into the top of them as shot glasses. And that was like it was his idea yet again. And he wanted us to make Negronis. We put them in there, and then we just like shoot it or drink it out of the same vessel together.
I saw that video.
Yeah, so that was where it was born.
Okay.
As a joke. And at the end of the video, we're literally like, did we just become Negroni Bros or something? And that was a joke. And it kind of did better than any other content I had ever posted.
It's always those ones, huh?
Yeah, so we're like, okay, we got to do more of this.
Yeah.
So finally, as the months rolled on, we kept talking about it. And I was always interested in it. But my main thing to Tyler was like, I'm down 100%, but I just want to make sure we stay consistent. I don't want to start this and then, we just give up on it a couple months later because we have no systems in place. So I'm proud to say we got some of these systems in place. We're rolling. We shot last night for some stuff, and we're shooting in batches. We try to get one shoot in a month in his backyard. He's got the bar built out. The bar you see us working at is actually in Tyler's backyard.
Oh, okay.
Him and his dad built that during the pandemic when everything was shut down.
So they can have a bar in their backyard?
Yeah, and I think the intention back then was we were actually supposed to shoot stuff back there. But, life gets in the way and so on and so forth. But we're back at it, trying to shoot once a month, shoot as much as we can, building the brand, looking to work with brands as time goes on. We got a couple like, unofficial sponsors that are rocking with us. Like
Nice.
we got a super dope apron brand, Search and Rescue. Will over there, he already hooked us up with an apron before, but I'm pretty sure I sent him some specs and we talked about he's going to put together some custom Negroni Bro aprons for him and I, for Tyler and I. And we're just jamming along with that. So I think most of the focus is now raise the bar when it comes to like, prospects and client work and paying bills. And Negroni Bros is, we plan to get it to that point, build a following, build an audience. But right now we're just kind of having fun with it, really.
Dude, that's
kind of like the best project.
That's awesome that you have those two outlets of work. I can provide with this, and then this is like fulfilling, and then it's blending into the point where that's the goal, right? To do the fulfilling thing that provides.
To be, right? That's like
we all
ikigai kind stuff, right? Like
it's right in the middle,
right? So I think I'm seeking that in certain regards. But the funny thing is, when I stopped working in the liquor industry, when I was finished doing brand management work, was that December 21? I don't think I've ever said this on a public platform before, but when I left the rum brand, I actually wanted to get as far away from hospitality, bars as possible, which was part of the reason why I went through that cycle. I tried to avoid it, but it kept pulling me back in, right? So
there you go.
But it's good because now I found joy in it from a different lens, But I had dedicated over 15 years of my life to that world at that time, my entire adulthood, and I kind of wanted a break from it, And I did take a break from it.
Okay, a couple of things. So Negroni, what language is that?
I believe it's Italian. It's an Italian cocktail.
So the term Negroni is a cocktail name that I guess around the world people just have, when it's time to make that Italian cocktail, it's something that is like a vessel for giving, or what do you call it? Like
for the
crowdfunding, or that's just
week. Yeah. So it's a week named after the cocktail.
Got it.
Yeah. So it's not a standalone. It's like compounded together.
Okay, got it. And then the other thing is, I think now, as you say you spent 15 years in the hospitality industry?
A little bit more actually, if I count like my dishwashing days. So add that in there. Yeah.
many, 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 many years, right?
Yeah.
It comes through the video. It translates in such that maybe it's observer bias because we're like similar and we know we see the same thing.
We speak the language, yeah.
But like if I'm watching something, it's food.
Yeah.
Like you can tell if you're a good person, you make good videos, and then you decided to make good X videos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And if there's a following, an audience, great, right? And then there's also the person who's like, I did X and now I'm making videos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if you just happen to be like you, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just now using this tool right here to be a window for something these last 15 plus years.
Pretty much.
That shows too, versus dope vid, but really, like if you were to, not to say like there's somebody who's like a gangster gonna check you, but you know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, I know what you mean, no.
There's still those internet keyboard warriors out there who will make their opinions.
Trying to expose.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, both of them are good for each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Both lanes.
I didn't even think anything of it until you stopped. I was like, oh, he is saying both. Oh, that's all right. I brushed my teeth this morning. So.
I am, you know what I'm saying? Don't ask me to run.
Don't ask me. Oh, stop.
Woo, bring back Japanese balance. We're going to go back. We're going to go back. Hey, chameleon, you know what I mean? I get, because I think the Freudian slip, I was like, let me get the gangster checking. They went over there that way.
That's when you snapped into it a little bit, maybe.
That side of Kenji came out. But both of these lanes, I think, are good for each other.
Of course.
And you know what? Like at the end of the day, you're creating a larger audience. period.
Yep.
More windows for people to look through and see something that you overlap on. And then obviously you give people the option to choose, right? At the end of the day, we can choose to scroll, we can choose to follow or not. Like now I just have another option of somebody else who's doing something that I'm interested in anyway. So I think it's a net positive. And the people who hate, like I don't know if it's hating or it's just artistic competitiveness. We are looking at what other people.
Sometimes it's both,
you know
depending on who's looking at it, right? If it's another creator, then from time to time, I felt that before, you know.
No,
I feel like I'm a lot better at it now. I don't want to say it's completely gone, that like competitive nature of like seeing someone's work and being like, I could do that.
Yeah.
You know, like
you need that delusional confidence, whatever you want to label it. You like when you saw that guy had an A6500, you had an A63. Like you need to see that.
Yeah.
It's not out of reach.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
But it's in that right direction.
It took a long time to get to a point where I felt like, all right, I think we're on that level now.
You know, and I'm sure you still don't consider yourself there. Like I made it. But I have this that reminded me of the conversation I have with Aloha a lot, which is that of like, this is somebody who's been cooking in the kitchen for, again, more years. Probably there's not even a number to the amount of years. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think for me, on my end of things, it's like, it's so easy to just let that shine. All I'm doing is just, I look at it like I'm just building a window.
Yeah, you're framing it.
But what you do is up to you, right?
Yeah.
But I'll make all these windows. Each video is a window, I guess. I'll make these windows for you, to people to see what you already do. So if you come in with I just Googled this and I'm gonna try it out, that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
But if you come in with like, man, I made these like fucking 5 times last week. I made this for a 20-person dinner last week. Like you already come in with that. Maybe he has nightmares similar, you know what I'm saying? Where he
probably
some version of that. Yeah. It just comes with actually doing it for years and years and years and years. And then you give someone, and that's something I had a conversation with a different friend who's considering doing foodie content. Mm-hmm. And her reservation was, I need to make better videos. Mm. And me, I was like, no, you don't.
The barriers.
The only reason we're having this conversation is because I already saw all the food stuff you post. You're already doing stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
She already is
You're
a foodie.
already doing it.
Yeah.
Why is there's this thing like, I need to get this camera? No, you're already doing it. That's why we're talking about it. And it's something that, again, like if it feels like work, it's going to be work.
Yeah.
But if it's something that feels fulfilling, then you'll just keep doing it. So just give it that more intent, give it intent and direction, and just keep doing it. Like you're already taking the steps. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's not much I can offer in terms of tech. I can give tech recommendations to a degree, but I don't think most conversations are actually getting any better anywhere through tech conversations. It's more like, if it's in a case of a client or something, what are you going to use it for? What's the goal?
Yep.
But if it's a person who's like on the fence, I'm like, why do you even do it? Or you already do it? Show me examples of how you failed. Let me see how this stuff is kind of like a diagnosis. Mm-hmm. And that's back to my earlier point about just working with different people. You get better at reading that person and what their needs are. You're kind of interpreting, again, language. You're kind of interpreting what their needs, wants, vision, goals are. Yep. And you're like, oh, okay. This is what I can do. This is how I could fit into that.
Yep.
If it even fits. But with
that sounds like an onboarding call right there.
In
certain regards.
Yeah.
In certain regards, right?
It's just something that if you feel resistance from like comfort, emotional resistance, mm-hmm. I think that's different from like skill level resistance. I'm just not good enough yet.
Yeah.
Like skill level resistance, I just fucking throw that out the window.
Yeah.
That's gonna come.
Yeah.
The more important thing is that just comes with like repetition. 15 plus years. Like do it for 15 years. That resistance is gone. It's more like the mindset behind why you're even creating or should you create or like even something
intentional or intent or whatever the case is.
And then also like another big thing that just most creators have is like the people who are starting to do video, who feel intimidated by all these other videographers and stuff.
Yeah.
Those people is usually like, am I good enough? Do I have something to say?
Yeah.
What am I going to talk about?
I still go through that from time to time, you know?
Yeah.
From time to time, depending on what I'm looking at, though, right? Like if it's something that I'm interested in doing that I haven't really got the reps in yet on, and I see someone else really good at it, I could go through that sometimes, through that like slight imposter syndrome that But when I look at like what helps me currently and over these last few months with stuff like that is remembering what space that I occupy now, and like, yeah, knowing that people are great at a lot of things, and I'm really good at this cocktail thing.
See,
and like that, I own that like through and through now. Like last time we talked about how long it took me to even like go out there and claim and put my foot in the ground saying that I'm a filmmaker, you know. That was.
But see, maybe you felt that, and maybe the imposter syndrome when you're like going around. But now it's like, wait, if I already think about what I'm good at, let me just take an inventory of these past decades, right?
Yep.
What's the thing that I've been doing that I can be a quote unquote expert at, or let's just say experience pert. If there's an experience, what do I have experience in? Oh, then it's weight off the shoulders. It's 100%. Something I'm already confident in, and now it's just a matter of sharing that confidence or experience, right? Mm-hmm. And I think those kind of things translate, and then for us is a little bit more visible. We can kind of see, you know what I'm saying? And so having something like, I guess technically I'm a YouTuber, I'm a freaking foodie person. Like I am, because I'm connected with these people who are. Yeah. And so I can see that with, for example, Kilo with food. Now my feed is blown up with foodie stuff.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course, the algo's got you.
And now I can see a lay of the land.
Yep.
Where we at?
Yep.
Where we at in this landscape? I mean, none of us thought we'd be here right now, but let's look around. Oh, okay. I see why X, Y, Z, this kind of thing happens, and picking up norms. It almost feels like when you travel to a new country that first week. You know what I mean? You're still looking around. Yeah, you're still like adventurous. Who's
fully
who?
Sponging up
what's
everything.
Going on? Yeah. And like, bro, it's a live, bustling marketplace.
Yeah.
And I can see how people get that. The people who've been about that life. You know what I'm saying? Who now are just
life? Both of them?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, both.
Sorry. I had to. I'm sorry.
That's funny is when I heard myself say it, I was like, I did say
I didn't even notice you said it. It was only when you stopped and you're like, both of them. I was like, oh, he said that.
I did.
But sorry, didn't mean to disrupt your train of thought there. But.
It's an ongoing train of thought. It's rambling. It's everything, but it's also because I'm like talking to you. You know what I'm saying? And I know that there's a lot of overlap what we do. And even like when you were describing your setup, I was thinking about, like, oh, how could I... Making a boom pole is one thing I wanted to do with what we do at Cave's house. But there's obviously music plays a big part in that. Yeah. So it's now when we're looking back, like, oh shit, what's different about what we're doing? A lot of it is him. A lot of it is just like the format. Like now I'm more conscious about the format of foodie videos or foodie influencers.
Naturally.
You know what I'm saying? Like what's working is different. If we were objective about it, say, okay, who's got a good ratio of followers to engagement? Yep. What kind of schedule are these people posting at? What's their most well-performed video? Like the ratio comments to shares. And there's all kinds of things to look at. And one takeaway that we're like, yeah, you know what? That's one of the differentiating factors is the vibe, the music. Not only like the actual meals that you can cook and they're good, but like the vibe, the music. And a lot of times when I'm editing, it's like I'll make a choice either to the point of continuity. I know I'm in the foodie world, and in the foodie world, the first shot is the final thing that you're going to show us how to make. And then we go into A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, all the way to Z, right? And we finish with you eating it. Like there's a format there. I
Honestly,
see it.
same thing with cocktails. So I've fully followed.
Finish shot.
Yeah.
Now step 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish. Maybe commentary. Throw in a little sparkle, tagline, something that
Yeah.
you do that your audience is used to.
Or the seamless loop at the end
seamless loop.
to the beginning, right? That's the other one.
There's a lot of, again, these patterns that we would
Yeah.
recognize, like but we never came out swinging for that. It was just an honest representation of who was there.
Yeah.
This guy, boom. And now it's like, oh, I try and think about other, not even just foodie stuff, but literally any video, any audience, industry, whatever you put it, like the formulas and patterns.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the patterns of video.
Yeah. I've been noticing that more too, actually.
Bruh.
Since I'm committed to this like structure. I don't want to say I'm committed to the structure, but I have this like way that I do it pretty consistently now. And the way I do it, or we do it, excuse me, with our cocktail content is kind of like, I feel like what you're just saying, like we kind of just said, fuck it, we're just going to do we're just going to bring ourselves to this and like do what feels right to us and feels, I guess, genuine to us, you know. And I'll dabble with different like techniques, or like, you know, maybe like lately I've been adding like text overlays of like the recipes, like so if someone wants to make it themselves. But I didn't do that for a while. A lot of time it was just like, I just want to make this shit look good.
I think the thing that you do, obviously, that is, like, you know, you're always on that fence of like fulfillment, providing, and all of us dads feel that providing went extra, right? So sometimes there's like that guilt of, I'm doing what fulfills me, but I'm not bringing home anything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But then you always make the argument. You always make the argument of like, well, a more fulfilled me can provide at a higher level.
Yeah.
And you know, believe me, I've been through these.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it, and I think it's true, but the thing is, the hard part is it just takes time.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of time and a lot of reps to do something.
Consistency.
To turn your fulfillment into also providing. And I mean, I'm by no means at that stage yet, but I can see, again, pattern recognition, be it in words, language, videos, whatever. I feel like I'm starting to kind of like, you know, decode the matrix kind of thing, where
sense of it a little more.
At least specifically speaking, so it's not too woo-woo, like with videos.
Yeah.
With videos, it's kind of now falling into buckets that I can like see.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Do you think that's in part of the level of like reps and consistency you've been putting in since starting 100 Bad Videos? Not
just 100 Bad Videos, but just my whole, since my first camera and fucking that Canon G-Shot, whatever it was, I don't know, 2008, 9 or something, getting Final Cut in 2010. Like, so I don't know, I don't even know when to say is day one, because I made videos in high school too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if we say like making money for videos, the first time I received money for video, if that's day one, then I think I'm around year 12.
Nice.
So I had somewhat of a runway of just consistently seeing, shooting, editing, making, seeing, shooting, making, editing. Like, this constant, like
cycle, like a machine almost.
The language of imagery. I feel, you know, you could say I'm a 12-year-old. Think of a 12-year-old's grasp of the English language. I'm kind of like that right now. Mm-hmm. I can converse. I can even have I can express my original thoughts. I can understand someone else's thoughts, even if it's not mine. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a 12-year-old in that sense. And if you kind of age yourself that way, right? There's a lot of day oneers, 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, toddlers. And like, it's not to say that there's any better or worse position. It's just now I see it in a way that not fits, but it's starting to fit. I feel like things are starting to fit more naturally.
I see.
When I consume things, when I make things, both, when I'm, again, the passive part and the active part of this language as video, I feel like I just have more ways to slice it up, dissect it. And, maybe it's because of the file organization that I've been doing for last year or something. Like,
I'm sure it helps.
I just have to organize things. And it's kind of a contradiction because I don't like, I come from more like the free kind of like, I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I realize how important
Just
it
vibes,
is
brah.
to freaking have the structure and have that heart, like have a structure to be free in. But if you make the structure, then it's a little bit more, you feel more like empowered because you have more autonomy in that process. And you can make it specific to what fulfills you.
Like customized, custom tailored to your needs.
Make your own structure and then just play in it. And I think that's what now is like, I feel like I've made a structure of me that's specific to me. I'm only a 12-year-old, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's, think of all the directors, Nolan, whoever, right? Yeah. Oppenheimer. I'm looking forward to that joint dropping. You know what I'm saying?
Like, right now, honestly.
Come on already, right?
I'm running around in nothing but
that.
diaper right now.
So like, how old is he? And if we go, when's the first day you made money? That's day one. Like, okay. So I know there's still more to learn, but at least right now I feel like I've got a little bit more mastery of the language, more ways to interpret it, more ways to manipulate it. And now I'm looking at, for me, like what's next is teaching that language. Yeah. Sharing that language. I don't even say, teaching, sharing, but sharing the language much in the same way I was a literal teacher, sharing the English language with little kids in the countryside of Japan. It's a long process that takes time. You cannot escape, no matter what kind of device you got. At the end of the day, no matter what kind of tech device tools you have, at the end of the day, if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't know that's where you're going with it.
If you're a cool person, you're a cool person.
Yeah.
So it's like there's still this that needs to happen, and when you can communicate like this in a way that even if someone were to record it and shoot it and people on the other side could translate that real essence of who we are translates, then it gets basically focused on the root, focus on getting the experience, like you, for example. Just if you're thinking, that's how I'll wrap it up. If you're thinking about making videos, maybe try and explore what you already have the most experience in, that people already ask you about. And then just consider that each post is a window to what that is. And take away the pressure of having this pretty lights and sounds and mics, and just think of it as let people see what you do. Yep. And then I think that kind of relieves the pressure of the performance too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where I got, lights, camera, maybe like the surfer guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. Some people live for that. Some also just maybe want to start an online business, so they see the value in online marketing and video inbound marketing. So now I feel like there's no excuse to not at least participate. Mm-hmm. And if you do it yourself, like how you're doing, or if you align with somebody else who's doing it, I hope at the end of the day, like this podcast is a platform for those dots to connect. You are the what is it? The twins? This is like the 5th time I'm asking him.
Equal parts?
Equal parts.
Equal parts, yeah.
I want this platform to make you the equal parts for somebody. Yeah. Me, the whatever guy for somebody, right? Like, just, it's like this passing on kind of thing. So, mahalos. I mean.
Thank you.
No, I always feel like I'm learning a lot. It's great to talk. Let the people know, again, where they can find you, what you're doing.
Instagram. I'm Instagram heavy. So at Teves Freitas, at Negroni.bros, at Raise the Bar High, H-I, Hawaii.
See, whenever I see something with Hawaii at the end, I'm like, okay, where's the Tokyo? Where's the, you know what I mean? Like It has that kind of robust nature in it. I love that. And I mean, do you have any plans to travel?
I've been fortunate enough to get a trip booked for Seattle. I'm going to Seattle at the end of August. Okay. So I'm going to hit that up.
What, the flying fish market?
Yeah, well, actually,
You know
I
that-
mean,
or
planning to
throwing
go shoot some content at some bars. So
There you
I'm
go.
pretty excited for that. Kind of show that, you know, we're accessible beyond our shores here. And then I got some trips coming up.
Raise the Bar Seattle. Hey,
Yep.
okay, tell the bartender, not the bartender. I know that's like your audience, but tell the bar owner right now what kind of impact that you're making.
I mean, the type of work we do, quite honestly, it's really represented by the name. You know, we put out content and produce the type of video that really just levels up the way your brand is perceived. No joke. And it's funny because I see some really high ticket clientele that settle with phone posts and stuff. And I get it. Like, I understand that it's more relatable to the common consumer and most of the people in the audience. But I mean, if you guys are the Lamborghini, like, you should have some content that shows your Lamborghini, and we create cocktail video content showing off your unique offerings that is Lamborghini.
I love it. So turn your martini into a Lamborghini.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, bars.
Bellini, Martini, Lamborghini.
I like both of
Bars.
them.
Raise the bars.
Well, yeah, bro. I mean, what? Thanks for coming.
Thank you,
I'm
bruh.
sure there'll be more. Dude, shout out to Tyler again, business partner.
Yep.
Other half of Negroni Bros. Other than that, dude, good stuff, my brother.
Man, barely scratching surfaces still, I feel.